Buying new construction seems easy until it gets hard. In today's video, I'm gonna share with you my top 7 buyer mistakes that you guys just love to make when buying new construction houses and how to avoid those mistakes. And you know what? In today's video, we're just gonna jump straight into it. Like I said, I got 7 for y'all. The first one is gonna be so stereotypical, but it has to be said. My first buyer's mistake is going without an agent. Now, here's why this is a mistake. Number one, you're not paying me for my services and expertise and advice and opinions and emotional support. The builder is paying me for that. Now here's the thing. Why would you not use that service if you're not paying for it and you're 100% going to get a better deal using me versus trying to do it all yourself? Can you imagine having to go through the contracts, having to go back and forth with the agent, having to go through all that BS, that emotional strain, putting down your earnest money? Oh shoot, you missed something. Now you want to back out of the deal. Now you lose your earnest money. These happen. This is why I have these videos. These are real life examples of things that are happening and happen to my clients. So you never want to be one of those people who didn't get the best deal because you didn't want to bring an agent because you wanted to do it yourself. On the contrary, make sure you bring the right agent with you. Even if I'm not the right agent, make sure that you bring the right one with you. A lot of builders like to use a slick little thing that I really do not like when they do this, is that they had this sign sometimes on a door where it says, if you are walking through the door and your agent is not with you, that agent is not allowed to be with you throughout the transaction, meaning that they're not going to pay that agent if you were to bring them after the fact. So you have to register that agent on your first visit. The sign says register your agent on the first visit. Some signs even say that your agent must physically be there when you visit. Now imagine that you didn't know any better. Maybe you were unlucky and didn't watch this video and you walked inside a new build office and they had that sign, you put your name down, you wanted to buy that house, but you wanted to bring your agent in to overlook some details. Well, the builder's gonna say, you know what? Sorry, we can't do it. We can't pay your agent. You know, best of luck to you. We can still work with you as a buyer, but you just can't have no representation on the most important asset in your entire life. Does that sound right? Does that sound like like a deal that you want to be a part of? So don't make that mistake. Just bring an agent with you. The second biggest mistake you can make as a buyer is falling in love with the model. The model is set up on purpose. It is a psychological thing, and the model is gonna have all the bells and whistles. It's gonna show you what your house can look like. The furniture matches the paintings on the wall, and the accent colors on the wall matches the floors. The lights that cost $1,000 is not gonna be in your house. Matter of fact, even the windows are upgraded. Everything looks beautiful. Landscaping looks beautiful. You have all the bells and whistles. So of course buyers are gonna fall in love with it. There is no surprise that the model home is that builder's most popular floor plan in that community. It's the best selling one. It's the most popular. Everybody wants that floor plan. Look, I just walked a community yesterday where some of these model homes had over $200,000 worth of upgrades in that house. Sometimes you can't even see it all. That's how crazy it is. So don't be one of those buyers that falls in love with the model homes and then you get all excited, you sign that contract, fast forward 2 months later, and your house is the same floor plan, but is nowhere near the level of the model home. Oh, you are going to hate the builder for that. So when you walk inside a model home, walk in there just knowing that your house is gonna look nothing like that. Unless if you want to pay that extra $200,000, then all power to you. Number 3 is not getting an inspection. Do you know how many times I've heard builders say it's a brand new house, you don't have to get an inspection? Look, no, we're not doing that. It costs about $300 to $500 to get a house inspected. Pay that cost. Matter of fact, if you really do not want to pay that, ask the builder to pay for it. If we can't negotiate that for the builder, hell, I'll pay for it for you. Just do not buy a house without getting an inspection done. I don't care how new the house is. The house could have been put up yesterday. It doesn't matter. The inspector's job is to find every single issue with that house. And guess what? They are going to find every single issue with that house. That's their job, all right? And you could even force the builder to fix some of these issues. Matter of fact, I just closed on one of my clients, first time home buyer, by the way, congratulations if you're watching this. We just closed on his house and his island was a little bit misshapen. And we asked the builder to fix that. They said, look, like it's just part of the design. It's not perfect. There's like some metal brace behind there due to the plumbing or something like that. So we're like, all right, yeah, cool, whatever, bro. Just go ahead and make that as straight straight as possible, please and thank you. And they did that, and it looks so much better. They actually made the line straight. And guess what? The inspector caught that. We also visually caught that, but the inspector definitely caught that, which I think gave us more ammo to ask for that, and the builder complied and fixed that issue. So get the inspection before you move into the house, and I'm even gonna fast forward and say get another inspection before your first year warranty ends too. So yeah, you're paying that little extra money, but that little extra money can save you thousands of dollars, because let's say if they uncover something that's, you know, it's gonna be very expensive to fix, you know, get an inspection. The fourth mistake that most buyers make is not understanding the lender incentives. So you know, you've seen those crazy signs saying, hey, interest rate as low as 1.99%. Yes, I did see an interest rate as low as 1.99%. That's the only reason why I bring it up. Interest rate is doing this. Oh, you get $15,000 credit here. You get $10,000 credit there. There are always catches to this. You have to read the fine print, all right? Now, usually when you see the lower interest rates, you get to digging deeper a little bit, not even all that deep, maybe surface level deep, and come to find out, oh shoot, you got to be a conventional buyer. You got to put 10% down to get that interest rate. Or, oh, to get the lower interest rate, you got to be a FHA or VA buyer. VA buyer, hey, congratulations, 0% down payment, no PMI. But if you're an FHA buyer, and if you have the funds to be a conventional buyer, that FHA also has an additional payment over the life of the loan called the mortgage insurance premium. But hey, at least your interest rate is lower. So make sure you understand where those incentives are coming from, how you qualify for them, what you have to do, and just make sure that you understand, because to get these types of incentives, you do have to use the builder's preferred lender. Now, if you're a conspiracy theorist or you think that the builder and the lender are in cahoots with each other and it's not a good deal, I'm not saying all that. What I'm saying is that their preferred lender, most of these builders have an in-house mortgage team, and these builders own the mortgage companies, so they're allowed to play around with the incentives to a dramatic degree. So are you getting a better deal versus a third-party lender? Maybe. Can a third-party lender offer you a better deal? Most of the time, no. And if you're using a third-party lender, you're not gonna get access to these incentives. So it's almost kind of forcing a lot of buyers to use the builder's preferred lender to get these incentives. However, if you're working with a savvy agent like myself, you can still bring your third-party lender and negotiate those incentives anyways. You know, the worst thing they can say is no. So avoid this mistake by just being more savvy, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask who the lender is. Don't be afraid to reach out to that lender and start asking questions to that lender before you put pen to paper anyways too. So yeah, just avoid making that mistake. Now, before I get to the remaining 3 mistakes that buyers can make, if you are looking to relocate to the Austin Metro, make sure you reach out to me and the team. We specialize with helping buyers like yourselves find new construction properties, find your dream home, putting keys in hand. That is the goal of this channel. So make sure you click that link down below to schedule a one-on-one call so I can understand where you're at in your journey, put you on a roadmap so we can put keys in your hand. And also feel free to call, text, or even email me, and I'll also leave that link in my top pinned comment. The 5th mistake that buyers make when buying new construction is not reading the fine print. Yes, look, I do this day in and day out. I have dealt with hundreds of people not only looking to buy, but looking to sell their homes as well. You'd be surprised, or maybe not all the way surprised, but you'd be surprised by how many people would just sign documents that either could cost them tens of thousands of dollars or make them tens of thousands of dollars, but there's tens of thousands of dollars in play, and they just sign away. They don't read anything. That blows my mind. And then afterwards, oh, I didn't know we had to pay that. Oh, I didn't know that this was happening. Well, you signed it, and you can't go ahead and say, well, I didn't know what I was signing, because it says clearly in the paperwork to make sure you read it through. And if you have any questions, to ask, or to get an attorney involved to help you translate the documents. So read the fine print, and at the very least, use ChatGPT. Plug that contract into ChatGPT, ask for a summary. That's the very bare minimum that I would recommend. Number 6, the 6th biggest mistake the buyers can make is buying too early and buying too late. In new construction neighborhoods, they have different phases of development. So if it's a brand new development, they are in phase 1. In phase 1, that's when they just finished the model homes and they just started finishing their inventory homes. And I would say it's so new that even the community center isn't finished yet. That is what's considered phase 1. Now, let's say if the last phase is phase 5, at phase 5, they're closing out this community and moving to a different community. So why wouldn't you want to buy too early in the beginning or too late at the end? I shot a brand new neighborhood yesterday, and this brand new neighborhood was in phase 1. And this brand new neighborhood was completed or started selling homes in February of this year. So like brand new, brand new. Now their community center is not finished just yet. It's gonna be finished at the end of the summer. With that being said, some homes already had a price drop. One of the builders specifically said that we are priced the way we are priced because we used to be a lot more expensive when we started, and we noticed not a lot of people were interested in that price range. So we had to adjust our price about $120,000 down off of their highest price point. Picture this real quick. If you were a buyer in phase 1 and you were excited about the community, all the big things coming, and you wanted to be the first ones to lock in that house, and you signed for a $600,000 house, and 3 months later, that same $600,000 floor plan is now $500,000. How would that make you feel? I'll tell you how it make me feel. I'd be ready to jump off the roof. I wouldn't say it's like a greed problem or anything like that. It's more so of the builders. It's kind of hard to set prices at the very beginning of a community because you do have to take surrounding neighborhoods, see what those houses are selling for. Then of course the builder's gonna wanna make some money on the margins. So they're going to of course raise the price a little bit because it's new construction, and that way they have a healthy margin. But the thing with brand new properties in phase 1 of a community is that you have no other comp. So you have no other homes that sold in that neighborhood to compare those prices to. So once those dominoes fall, okay, now that $600,000 home has been sitting on the market 4 months. So now we know that we can't sell that product for $600,000. We have to adjust that to $500,000. Oh, it's sold. Okay, so $500,000 is the floor price, and we could build our product around that number. So that's why there's not a lot of comps, there's not a lot of consumers until they start buying these homes. So that's why you don't want to get in when it's too early because you might end up overpaying. Now, on the contrary, you don't want to get in when it's too late because as the phases start to roll out, so we're on phase 1, we go phase 2, phase 3, those homes start to climb in price. So at the end of the phase is when those homes are going to be at the highest price. Now, sometimes if you are buying a house at the end of the phase, you could get a really good deal because like I said, the builder is trying to get out that neighborhood to move on to a different area to start developing homes over there. So they're trying to close out this phase as fast as possible. But you don't want to be caught to where you are buying a house at the absolute peak in that neighborhood, and now if you're looking at selling it within the next 2-3 years, you will be underwater. So don't be caught too early and don't be caught too late in the process. Try to get yourself right in the middle. Now, the 7th mistake that I see buyers make in new construction is not asking what you can negotiate. So in new construction, a lot of people think that you can't negotiate anything, that you can't negotiate the price, that you can't negotiate the incentives. That's not the case. Everything in real estate, literally everything is negotiable. Price, interest rate, incentives, appliance packages, HOA dues, who's gonna cover that? What if you're moving from a rental? Do you have a month or 2 left? Can the builder cover that? What about the inspection fee? Like I said, the builder, it's only $300 to $500, but it has $300 to $500. Can the builder cover that? If not, can your agent cover that? I mean, every single thing can be negotiated, and the worst that somebody can tell you is no. I always go for the jugular when it comes to these new construction builders. Like, I'm always going to submit a very aggressive offer because these builders want to sell homes. It's not the same as a resale property where if you submit a very aggressive offer, that seller might be offended to the point where they won't even counter back to you, right? With new construction, they're trying to move this product. Now, I'm not saying to offer $300,000 on a $600,000 house. You're probably going to be laughed at. But I'm simply saying that if you believe that at that $600,000 house that you are comfortable at buying it at $550,000, and then instead of receiving $10,000 in incentives, you want to receive $15,000 in incentives, that's where I would just submit that type of offer instead of worrying about the seller or the builder in this case being offended. At the end of the day, screw if they're offended. I mean, you are buying this house, you are marrying this house for about 30 years, right? Or at least ideally for 30 years. Longer, shorter, it doesn't matter. You're still putting a lot of money towards this house, and you deserve to at least ask for the best deal for you and your family. So don't be afraid to ask what is negotiable. And builders might say, well, nothing is really negotiable, everything is as is. Well, that's where I would step in and say, hey, look, we can do X, Y, Z. This is negotiable, that's negotiable. This might not be negotiable, but maybe we can ask for this over here. So don't be afraid to ask. The worst thing they could do is say no. Best thing they could do is say yes. The neutral grounds is like, hey, all right, we won't give you this, but we'll give you that. Anyways, if you found value in this video, make sure you reach out to me and the team. Let me know how I can help you in your real estate journey. Share this with your friends and family. Comment down below on what you think that I missed out on this video, or what mistake that you can relate to that maybe you've made in your real estate journey. This is In Austin with Dawson. I catch you in the next one. Peace.